Hey, everybody, and welcome to another off-season discussion. Today, we're going to be talking about the Washington Capitals, who have had a fairly active off-season. So we've got a lot to get into. And joining me is Jeremiah, the sports beard. Man, it is awesome to have you on. His YouTube channel will be linked in the description of the video, as always, so you guys can check it out. And Jeremiah, thank you so much for joining me. It is awesome to have you on, and I am pumped up to talk some Capitals because they've been pretty active this offseason.
John, I have to say, the greatest day is when you get to talk hockey, right? Especially with a cool guy like you. I'm so happy to be here with you, man. You're doing great things. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be on your show. I appreciate it. The Caps have been busy, man. Yeah. I was a little bit surprised. Brian McClellan shocked me, man. Like, he came out and said, yeah, we're, when they did not qualify Samsonov.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of diehard Caps fans weren't really that surprised.
Yeah.
I just think that maybe some of the behind the scenes stuff was a little bit worse than maybe we anticipated. I'm not saying he's trying to break that Russian mafia up, but I think he tried to break that Russian mafia up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to trade Ovechkin. He's not going to trade Kuznetsov. They're not going to trade Orlov. Those guys are way too important for the Capitals. Yeah. And I just don't think they saw Samsonov getting infinitely better. Watch, he will probably be a Vezina candidate for the Toronto Maple Leafs because they seem to be the team for this reclamation project stuff, right?
Yeah.
And as a hockey fan, I would love it because I think the Leafs need to win. I'd like to see them win. I think it would be great for the sport because of how rabid their fan bases are. But so I only wish Samsonov the best of success. And I think he's, he easily could be the starter for that team very quickly because not because I don't think Matt Murray isn't a good player, but I think a lot of us feel like his better days are behind him. So we'll see how that shapes up. I heard a lot of people say that Darcy Kemper was just good enough to win the Stanley Cup. I don't know what that means. I thought he played exceptionally well. Did he make the saves he had to make? Well, that's why they won.
Yeah.
I don't, did he outplay Vasilevsky? I think you could shot for shot say maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Caps really overpaid for him. He didn't even get the deal Grubauer got with Seattle.
Yeah.
So also another Caps goalie, which, you could go through the whole entire NHL and pick out guys that the Capitals have drafted. I think that's the other thing. I think McClellan believes so much in their scouting and ability to find young goaltending and they let the whole battery go. I mean, they let Sammy walk. They traded Varlam, they traded you were going to say it. I cut you off. Vanacek to the New Jersey Devils.
Yep.
And also Phoenix Copley, who was starting for the AHL. And I know Bennington had been high on him, and there's been some talk that he would see NHL time. He's an Alaskan kid too. So of course I want to root for Phoenix Copley. Love to see him, get some, find a home somewhere in the NHL. I really would like to see him get a chance. I think the way goalies are going right now, he may have an opportunity.
Yeah.
But the Caps were not happy with where they were going there. I think since the departure of Barry Trotz and Mitch Korn, we have seen a big drop off in the goaltending play of the Caps, but also, our defense was not very good.
Yeah.
I mean, they did not play at the level they could have. Should they have beaten Florida? I think everybody knows that they choked that series away.
Yeah.
Or they gave it to Florida. I feel like they could have won that in 6 and they lost in 6.
Yeah.
I thought Florida was the far superior team. And did not even have one lick of lost sleep that we lost that series when Tom Wilson played less than 90 seconds and he had a goal, by the way.
Yeah.
His injury is a big deal. We don't know what's happening with Nicholas Backstrom vis-a-vis. We saw the Caps go out and get Dylan Strome.
Yeah.
I saw some rumors that Nazem Kadri, I'm kind of glad they stayed away from a guy on the other side of 30. I just feel like the Caps are old already. And they've got maybe one more run in them. I think a lot of fans would be fine with a teardown at this point, and just because the Nicholas Backstrom thing is, we don't know what it is. I mean, early reports were he's not coming back at all. McClellan made that with this most recent interview with the draft stuff, with him saying like, yeah, we're gonna be in the mix for a goalie UFA wise. I think he all but indicated that they expect him back, but so they're going to control the team, like his salary is going to eventually be back. Yeah. I could see, however, excuse the term, because I know they weren't the first team to be not cat compliant during the playoffs, which it's allowed, but a Tampa Bay Lightning situation where Backstrom comes back in the postseason. But I have felt like, and I don't know about you, Backstrom hasn't been the Caps' top line center. I actually don't think he's even been as good, really good, even as a second line center. He's just, and I think a lot of that now has to do because of the injuries that he was kind of going up against.
Absolutely.
So it would be nice to see him kind of just recover some of that B+, A- form that we've seen from him in the past. I mean, yes, Ovechkin is an incredible goal scorer, and I don't think he missed a beat with Kuzi on the line. In fact, I sometimes feel like if they could find another Russian winger, like a Tarasenko or something, that line might be one of the best lines in hockey. With what we know, I mean, Ovechkin doesn't seem to be slowing down. I mean,
not at all. He's
50
been unreal.
goals again. I mean, he should have 2 more seasons of 50 goals. So,
yeah, I think part of the reason it's been such an active offseason for Washington is that they know they're an older team and they feel like that window is closing, and like they're in crunch time here to get that one more run out of this team, because Oshie's getting up there, Ovechkin's getting older. You've got now a major injury to Tom Wilson. You've got a major issue with Nicholas Backstrom. John Carlson's on the wrong side of 30 now on the back end. It feels like it's crunch time for the Capitals if they're going to get that one more run out of them. And this is a team that has continually lost in the first round since their cup run in 2018. I feel like they feel like they have to, like, they got to go for it because they don't have much longer to go for it before they have to tear it down and rebuild.
Well, let me just say this. 100% everything you said was correct. I think the first round losses are much ado about nothing. Pittsburgh has as many as we do.
I think it's
and they're in the same boat as we are.
They're very similar.
Core. Yeah, I mean, Boston kind of in the same boat. I mean, Boston has been able to kind of reload a little bit because they have guys like Pasternak who are still very young, and but the Bergeron and Marchands aren't young guys anymore. No. And the fact, I mean, we don't even know if Bergeron's coming back. I mean, that hasn't been officially, I think it's all but going to happen, right? So here's what I will say that scares me more than anything. I want to get on the record on this. Last year, the Capitals were excellent in the first half of the season. And I think it's the only reason we made the playoffs, quite frankly. They played well. They beat the teams they were supposed to. In the second half, none of those things happened. We didn't beat Seattle. We didn't beat teams we should have handled easily. We played sort of down to our competition. A lot of that was, I think, injuries that were playing a factor. I think you have to play those in now. I mean, it's a huge part of the game. If you don't have the depth to overcome it, and to say that I would be concerned about them even making the playoffs this year would be an understatement. No Wilson, no Backstrom for the foreseeable future. Wilson, it sounds like December timeframe. Well, you're talking about that is the first half of the season. So I would be really shocked to see us be a really good team next year. The only thing that could keep us in it, honestly, is the defense and goaltending. If Kemper and is it Lindgren?
Yes, Charlie Lindgren, new backup goaltender.
Where did he play last year?
He played 5 games for St. Louis, I believe.
Right.
The thing with Lindgren that's wild is that they're clearly bringing him in to be the backup goaltender. Yeah. He has played 29 career games in the NHL.
Yeah, McClellan has a relationship with Armstrong in St. Louis.
Yeah.
The TJ Oshie trade, Zach Sanford was a part. There's been some stuff there. I feel like these GMs get comfortable with the guys, and so they probably had a high grade on Lindgren. It's the only thing I can say, because quite frankly, they could have had Samsonov at, I think they were a little worried about his arbitration number being a little higher and thought that they could maybe get him as a UFA. I'm not 100%. I'll say this to you, John. I'm not 100% convinced that the Capitals didn't think they were going to bring Sammy back. I think they thought, you know what? Arb's going to kick our ass with him.
Yeah.
Let's try to get him as a UFA. And if we lose him,
it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think McClellan, if you asked him, he probably wanted to keep Sammy. Too young a goalie. I feel like, all those KHL rules that Vladislav Tretiak kind of instituted, we've seen kind of come to fruition with like Sorokin and Shesterkin and Samsonov to some level, but the Vasilevsky, some of these high level Russian goalies.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind right now. The best goalies in the world are coming out of Russia.
Of Russia right now. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, in North America, we're quite frankly, where's the next great Canadian goaltender? Because Jack Campbell's American, Thatcher Demko's American. A lot of these, Bennington, I guess, is a Canadian guy that's, that we still think is a really high level goalie when he's on his game.
Yeah.
It seems like when he's not on his game, he's abysmal. I won the HTH Fantasy Hockey Championship this year, and I had Ville Husso.
Yeah.
I thought, my God, whoever gets him is getting one hell of a goalie too. Yep. So, this too, man. Sometimes when you have the pipe answers, you guys had Rask forever. Now it looks like it's Jeremy Swayman's net to take. Of course, as an Anchorage, Alaska guy, I can't not but hope to see Swayman be like a Vezina finalist.
Yeah.
So, because, we just want to see that guy be successful. Yeah, I don't have a ton of hopes for Washington. And I'll say this to be more specific about the free agent acquisitions. I've never been a Dylan Strome fan. I've always felt like both the Strome brothers have kind of underperformed based on how well we thought they would be.
Yeah, certainly underperformed their draft status.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against them. Like, I'm sure they're great people, and I know Ryan played for my wife's team, the Rangers, and his mom would come in and do the lineup cards, and I thought that stuff was great. They seem like a great family. Nothing personally against the Stromes. They didn't pay them much. It's a 1-year deal. Let's hope they can get, like you said, I think in your video, you talked about Lars Eller is not a third line center. The sad thing is, I think our fourth line might be one of the best in hockey with Nick Dowd. And if we have Carl Haglin, and I like the fit of Johan Larsson. I know he hasn't signed yet anywhere. I was kind of hoping they might bring him back, because Haglin's another guy that we don't talk about a lot. He doesn't score a lot of points for the Capitals, but people don't score when he's on the ice.
Yeah.
Because he's such a great defensive forward. And sometimes you just take guys like that and say, you know what? So what if you get 3 goals a season? We love that you don't allow 3 goals a year, and you're playing high quality fourth line minutes. And he's a great skater, not much of a checker, but that Nick Dowd, him, and I'm trying to think of the other cat. I mean, I guess Garnet Hathaway is really the other guy. Yeah. I mean, Hathaway, to me, I feel like he's good enough to play more minutes. So, and his contract is big enough that he should be playing more minutes. He should easily be our third line left wing, but we'll see. I mean, I was excited to see what was going to happen with Malkin before he re-signed. I would have been interested to see, those guys on. So
I think I like this Strome deal for Washington, because with Backstrom out, they've got a massive need down the middle there. I don't think Connor McMichael is ready yet to just fill in a top 6 role. Strome had a massive year offensively, bounce back wise last season with 48 points.
Yeah,
and it's a 1-year deal, so if it doesn't work out,
there's no loss there.
There's no risk. There's no risk to that contract whatsoever. I think the upside is there where two players, in my opinion, if Washington is going to be successful this coming season, even through the injuries that they have, Dylan Strome needs to be a legitimate 2C, and Anthony Mantha needs to score some goals, because if he doesn't show up offensively, that is going to be a big problem with Wilson out for presumably the first half of the season.
Mantha, the kind of the forgotten guy there. I would say the thing with Mantha is he's actually been great when he's been in the lineup.
Yeah.
But he's another guy that health has been an issue.
Yep.
Yeah. I know a lot of Caps fans really hated that Vrana deal. I don't think they were ever going to be able to keep Jacob Vrana with his speed and skill.
Yeah.
The thing I'd say about Vrana, you could make the same argument about Mantha, and is he has a hard time staying in the lineup.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in the lineup for the Red Wings. When he has been, he's been great. I love Jacob Vrana.
Yeah.
Love his game. He's kind of the modern NHL guy, right? A little bit undersized, super speedy, very skilled.
Yeah.
That's sort of where the league is trending. So, I'm with you. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but I do feel like this, there's a very razor thin margin of success.
Yeah.
And the Caps are really going to have to come out and play super well until they have Tom Wilson back in the lineup. I think, honestly, John, I'd be shocked to see Backstrom play.
Yeah.
I think they're going to probably try to make another move at the deadline if they're in the mix. I think that McClellan is behind a rock and a hard place because of the fact that Backstrom could come back, and that salary is like 9.5 or so. I think he makes the same as Ovechkin now. So
yeah.
They sort of paid him sort of after all his great seasons, which I absolutely have no problem with, because if he never plays another shift for the Capitals, his number is going to get retired by Washington.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably a borderline Hall of Famer. I think where Backstrom is probably missed more than anything is actually his ability to play two ways.
Yeah.
He's actually a really great two-way player. Very underrated, that he doesn't get the credit probably because of guys like Crosby and stuff that were so, and your guy,
Bergeron.
Patrice Bergeron, the greatest of all time, in my opinion, as far as two-way forwards go. So, it's one of those things, but it will definitely be a challenge for the Capitals this year, more so than it's ever been. I think a lot of people thought last year, I wasn't ready to give up on him. This year, I feel like, yeah, it's okay if we don't do well. I did hear McClellan talk about McMichael. I was one of the guys that say trade McMichael for JT Miller, because I don't think he's going to be JT Miller.
Yeah.
And JT Miller is an incredible centerman. He's American. He would fit in with the Caps so well. I know that Pittsburgh and New York wants him. I'm sure you wouldn't mind having JT Miller.
I'd love JT Miller.
Yeah, great player. It looks like Vancouver's going to move off from him, and now they're going to trade him probably mid-season or something.
Yeah.
So he's going to probably get a boatload of stuff for them. So I see your time's winding down, my man. I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much. You are the best.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. It was awesome to have you. Awesome to talk some hockey, and anything you want to plug or anything, have at it, my man.
Well, I really appreciate it, John. So the Sports Beard will be back in the hockey season, probably September, October. I'll be coming back with some Saturday videos. Love to have you back on, talk some shit, talk some Bruins, and talk futures before the season goes. And then I'm the coordinating producer for the Shakedown Sports podcast. So we're going back full swing 5-6 days a week, talking football. Wednesday, we're breaking down the AFC North roundtable. So we're going to have some great content creators from those channels. And we've been having like really incredible, like actual sports writers on the show. We had Paul Dottino, who's covered the New York Giants for like 40 years for WFN in New York. So the guys I'm doing with this are getting some legit guests. And
awesome.
So I really challenge, if you guys are into football, specifically New York Giants, a lot of the content, because that's where our fan base is. We're all Giants fans. But we talk Pats. You're a Pats guy, I'm sure. We talk everybody. We talk all the teams. Just like you always say, we want it to be a community where people come together and talk football and stuff like that. So, and it's really adult level stuff. You know,
Mhm.
there's not a lot of, it's just all really backed up with like real facts
Yep.
and some really nice quality, just the kind of content you're not getting from like the ESPNs and stuff where it's
Yeah.
all clickbait, hot, you know, Stephen A. Smith, and nothing against those guys, but I just don't need to hear that garbage anymore. I want to hear like actual analysis. And that's what I love about this sort of format.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. It was awesome to have you. Everybody watching, thank you guys so much. And hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll be back again soon with another one and a new team coming up. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.